Good morning, students. In this session of digital signal processing, let us first recap what we have done in the last class. So, in the last class, we have discussed the concept of discrete Fourier transform, that is DFT. We have seen that in the expression of DFT, there is a part called Twiddle factor, and from Twiddle factor, how we can generate a matrix that is called Twiddle matrix. These three topics already we have discussed in the last class. So now moving on to the next topic, let us see one thing. Say your input is xn. It's a discrete sequence which is periodic in nature because DFT is applied to sequences which are periodic in nature. Okay. So let us say xn is a discrete sequence which is a periodic in nature of a period capital N. Yn is another discrete sequence, obviously a periodic sequence of periodic capital N. Now, if we apply DFT on xn, we will get xk. What is xk? xk is the sampled sequence in frequency domain. It's a sampled sequence but not in time domain, in frequency domain. xn is a sampled sequence in time domain. xk is the sampled sequence in frequency domain. So for this conversion we need this tool that is called DFT, discrete Fourier transform. Yn is another periodic discrete sequence with the period capital N, and if we apply DFT on Yn, we will get a sampled sequence but in frequency domain, that is Yk. Now if we multiply xk and yk using this multiplier, we will get another periodic sequence, that is zk. Say now if we apply inverse discrete Fourier transform on zk, we will get the time domain discrete sequence, that is zn. So xk multiplied with yk, you will get zk. Obviously when xn and yn are periodic, so xk and yk will be obviously periodic, and when you multiply these two, you will get another periodic sequence, that is zk. So inverse of zk will get zn, and obviously zn will be also be periodic with the same period capital N. Now my next question is, what is the relation between xn, yn and zn in time domain? We have seen the relationship of their spectrum in frequency domain, that is xk, yk and zk. Now what is the relation between xn, yn and zn in time domain? That relationship will be described by one operator or operation that is called circular convolution or cyclic convolution. Circular convolution, or you can say this is called cyclic convolution. So if it's a system, inputs are xn and yn, zn will be the output. Xn and yn should have to be periodic, and one thing, say n1 is the period of xn, n2 is the period of yn. So what will be the period of zn? It will be the maximum value between n1 and n2. It means n1 and n2 may be a different value. It is not necessarily always that n1 and n2, the periods of xn and yn should have to be same value. It may be different value. If it is different value, the maximum of n1 and n2, either n1 or n2, will be the time period of zn. Okay. So here also where we have written that it can be n1, it can be n2, and this one will be n1 or n2. So the time period of xn, if it is n1, the time period of yn, if it is n2, then the time period of zn can be n1 or n2, but it depends on the length of n1 and n2. Rather we should say it should be max n1 comma n2. The maximum value will be the time period of Zn between n1 and n2. Clear? Now, there are actually two different processes are there for circular convolution. The first one is called concentric circle method, and the second one is called the matrix multiplication method. Concentric circle method, matrix multiplication method. So now we'll discuss the most important, the most commonly used method, that is the concentric circle method first. So in this method, what we do, say our inputs are xn is equal to 2, 1, 2, 1, and another input yn is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. For ease, we assume that both of the sequences are of same length and the time period is, both cases are n is equal to 4. Here it is also n is equal to 4. Now we have to find the circular convolution of these two sequences. See, the thing is that here we assume that it is in this case that n1 and n2 are the lengths of xn and yn. Okay, so how we should do that? In that case, if the inputs are of uneven or unequal length, then we have to zero pad. That means append extra zero at the end of the sequence to match it. That's it. Okay. Now here we are assuming our inputs are xn and yn of equal length and the time period is 4 or the length is 4. Okay. So first thing what we will do, we will draw a circle here. And we will put the samples of xn on the periphery of this circle equally distributed and in a anti-clockwise manner. Suppose we write it here, this one. Here there are 4 samples, so 4 points we will put at the circumference of the circle. So say this one is x0 is equal to 2, this point, x1 is equal to 1, this point is x2 equals to 2, and this point is x3 is equal to 1. These are the 4 points. This is our xn. We put it in the anti-clockwise direction. It may be 8 point or it may be 6 point. In that case, you have to cut this circle in equal pieces to put the points in the circumference. Okay. Now same thing you have to do for yn. So another circle we are trying to draw here with y0 equals to 1, y1 equals to 2, y2 equals to 3, and y4 y2 will be y3, it will be y3 equals to 4. Okay, this is our yn. Now, let us see what is the mathematical expression for circular convolution. That is, Zn equals to Xn circular convolution Yn. And if you break it further, summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 xk y n minus k, the suffix capital N. So Zn is equal to Xn. This signifies circular convolution Yn. If you break it further, it shows summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 xk y n minus k suffix capital N. What is capital N? Capital N shows the time period of xn and yn. And another thing is there here. What is the significance of yn minus k capital N? This is very important. Yn minus k capital N here shows the modulo capital N operation. Modulo arithmetic. Modulo arithmetic or modulo capital N operation here. Because xn and yn is a periodic sequence, so we convert first xn and yn to xk and yk. So it will be converted to actually xk and this is yk. As you have done in the linear convolution, if you recap the process of linear convolution, you have seen that xn and yn is converted to xk and yk. So it will be x0, x1, x2 means xk. y0, y1, y2, y3 means actually yk. So xk and yk. So what we do is basically we take xk, we take yk. Then the next step we will reverse yk to make it y of yk. Then we will make it y of minus k. And we multiply xk with of y of minus k and the shifted versions of y of minus k plus n. Okay. So the entire thing will be done with the help of modulo arithmetic operation. So for the time being, forget about this modulo operation, we will discuss it later. So this mathematical expression is not required right now when we will doing the concentric circle method. Okay, so let us focus on the concentric circle method. So this is your xk or xn and this is your yn or yk. So let us say xk and yk, that will be better. So from yk we have to convert it to y of minus k. That means we have to shift it. How we are going to make it y of minus k? We have to fold this circle, or we have to flip this circle like this. Very simple. We will going to just flip this circle like this. So it will be from yk to y of minus k. So y of minus k will be something like this. This is the circle. Y0 position and y2 position will remain as it is. If we flip it like this, what will happen? That y0 position and y2 position will remain same. Only the y3 and y1 position will change. So initially here it was y1 and y3. In the next case, this one will be y3, this one will be y1. So here it will be y3 equals to 4, y1 equals to 2. So when you are flipping it, automatically the movement will be in the anti-clockwise direction. You have seen, as you have flipped the circle, the movement changes to anti-clockwise direction. Now in the next step, what we have to do? We have to multiply xk and we have to multiply xk with y of minus k plus small n. What is small n? Small n is the amount of shift. That means, suppose here in this expression, actually I will write the expression again, that will be better. Zn equals to summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x k y of n minus k capital N. So here capital N equals to 4. Okay, so we have to do this. So that means, so we have to find out Z0, Z1, Z2 and Z3. 4 samples we have to find out. So when you're talking about Z0, it means it will be k is equal to 0 to 3 xk y of minus k. So k is equal to 0 to 3 xk y of, here a small n is 0, small n is 0, so y of minus k. That means what we have to do, we have to put two circles together. Say the first circle is, say, x, the bigger one. This one is this circle is signifies xk. So what are the values of xk? See, this one is x0, the value is 2. This one is x1, the value is 1. This is x2, the value is 2. This one is x3, the value is 1. Okay, this one is xk. Next is y of minus k. Y of minus k means obviously this one. This is y of minus k. So the inside circle, this is y0, that is 1. This is y3, this is 4. This is y2, that is 3, and this is y1, that is 2. So this is the concentric circle. The center is same and two circles with two different radius. The outer circle signifies xk, the inside circle signifies, inner circle signifies y of minus k. So xk into y of minus k. So here the value is, for z0 it is 1 into 2 plus 4 into 1 plus 3 into 2 plus 2 into 1. So it will be 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 2, that is 6, 4, 10, 12, 2, that is 14. Okay. Now next is Z1. So Z1 is equal to, if you put the formula, k is equal to 0 to 3 xk y minus k plus 1. That means this is y of minus k, this one is y of minus k. You have to rotate y of minus k, you have to make y of minus k plus 1. That means you have to rotate y of minus k by 1 unit. So again, let us draw the circle. So this is 2, this is 2, this is 1, this is 1. See, there is no change in xk, so xk will remain as it is. So only change we have to do on y of minus k only. So this is y of minus k plus 1. That means what we have to do, we have to, now this change plus 1. So it will be in the clockwise direction. That means this circle will shift by 1 unit in the clockwise direction. So this one will shift over here. Okay, these two will shift over here, will shift over here. These three will shift over here, it will shift over here. And these four, it will shift over here, it will shift over here. Okay, so this movement is in the clockwise direction. Okay, so the result is 4 into 2, 4 into 2 plus 3 dot into 1, 3 into 1 plus 2 into 2, 2 into 2 plus 4 into 1, 4 into 1. So it will be 8 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4. That is 11 plus 4, 15 plus 4. It is 8. 8 plus 3,